going on, guys? Vince G of SwoleNerd Productions. Today, I'm going to bring you all along for a quick video that I need to edit. I was trying to get this up at 2, but kind of ran into a few little issues here and there. But yeah, so I'm kind of on a time crunch now. I'm going to try and get this done by 3 p.m. because today I am loading up. I'm going to go film an event at Hyenas today with my wife. We're going to be doing a what would you call it? I guess a mastermind. We're going to be filming a mastermind. So I'm trying to get this done really quick, and then I'll bring you along for that one once we get there and start unpacking. But anyway, let's get to it. Yeah, okay. So the first thing I'm going to do, you're not going to be able to see it. This is, let me back up. I have all these different folders right here. This is just everything that I've done for this video. Is more like template based, but I have a folder in here called delete these. So this is the main video that's just basically the one that I always replace. So let me get this replaced real quick. And then the reason I'm doing it like this, I will say 1 second. Here, 1 minute. Okay. So the reason that we're doing it, we're just going to hit right click, replace footage, and then I got to do it again, but you'd go to the file that you want and replace that footage. So now that that's replaced, this video right here got replaced with the correct footage. And a lot of people don't know this trick. I use a lot of keyboard shortcuts, but you can see that the audio starts right here. If you press Y, I'm using Premiere Pro for those of y'all who don't know, but I'm using Premiere Pro. If you press Y, grab the audio and slide it, you can slide it closer to the front. The reason that's really important is because a lot of people will try and get the clip and shrink it and then remove everything everywhere, and it's a pain. What makes that a pain is that I have all these clips that I would need to move. So if I were to do it like that, then I would need to move every single clip. So that's why pressing Y and then shifting it to the left is better. But let's go ahead and play this real
Welcome
quick.
to the 90s podcast hosted by yours truly, Kevin Thompson, founder.
It's going a little slow, probably because I have a lot of different things running. So that might be the reason. But hearing the audio is good enough for me because I'm able to tell where everything needs to be at. So let's just play this again.
Welcome to the 90s podcast hosted by yours truly, Kevin. Welcome to the 90s podcast hosted by yours truly, Kevin.
Right here. So as soon as he says his name, I like to grab the subscribe and book. Come right here. And I will fix this video real quick. I don't remember if I made this a custom shortcut or not, but control period. Did it not do it? Okay, it's not doing it. Oh, I know why. It's because this video, that's how the video looks with this white border. So what I'm going to end up doing, I'm just going to scale it up instead. Oh, right there. All right. So now, whenever he says his name, that's when the lower thirds will pop up. Then I have a little marker right here, which will pop up as soon as he says
Yours
it.
truly, Kevin Thompson, founder and CEO of 99 Capital Group.
I think I know why it's being slow. I have all his files on my external hard drive, and it's not an SSD
Thank you
drive.
guys for joining us. As I always say, subscribe.
Wait, hold up. Oh, I moved these too soon. He said subscribe over here. I got a little ahead of myself. So he says subscribe right here, and then he says his name right here. And let's move that there.
Kevin Thompson, founder and CEO of by yours truly, Kevin.
Right there.
yours truly,
There we
Kevin
go.
Thompson, and CEO of NY Capital Group. Thank you guys for joining us. As I always say, subscribe to the channel. As I always say, go and get my book, MLB to CFP, live on Apple and Amazon. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can email us at
So right now I'm just aligning all the clips with how we
info
speak.
at nicapitalgroup.com. Send us your questions or you go to the website at www.9.
But Kevin has been a long time
NYCapitalGroup.com.
client of
Schedule your
mine.
appointment. As you know, we're here to do what?
Like as you saw, this is video 91, but not even, that's just the order of the videos that I've done of him for 91, but we've done additional videos that aren't numerical. So probably at least 100 videos, easy.
Educate, empower, and engage. And today we're talking about that spooky recession. Are we headed to one? What to expect? And what's coming down the pipe with Jerome Powell?
Okay. Now the title here, and I actually need to check my phone because he texted me the title. Let's see, juice right here. And I have all these files nested together. So whenever I need to edit something, and if I have multiple areas of it, I can just edit this one copy and then it'll update all of them. So I'm gonna change the episode number first. Just make sure. Yeah. Okay. And then I will update the text to Kevin does a lot of financial videos. He's a former MLB player, so if you notice like any kind of like baseball related stuff, that's why. So we try and integrate like the baseball stuff with the finance. So that's like the baseball logo. Mess up on me. Okay, good. Baseball logo, baseball intro. Right now I'm just positioning it so we can get as big as possible. About right there. And then he mentioned
That spooky recession. Are we headed to one? What to expect? And what's coming down the pipe with Jerome Powell?
Trump. Just to make double sure. No, that's weird. He mentions that he has a guest, but he's not on there. Let me ask him real quick. Okay.
We have what we call a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? If you say something long enough, it is bound to happen.
So this is a little trick I picked up. If you press the letter A, and then anywhere you click after your mouse arrows, it'll select that. So it's selecting all of this. So if I were to click it right here, it would select up to there. But if I would click over here, it'd select over there and all that. Press V, and then you would move all this. So I need to stretch this out just a little bit. Sometimes he does a lot of talking, sometimes he doesn't. Is he still talking? Let me see.
Jerome Powell. You don't want to miss this one. Let's get it.
Oh, right there. So that's where we would cut that. And then another trick to cut all these layers at once. Let me see. I think you can just press Control K, Shift K.
You don't want to miss this.
No. Um, Control Shift K. There we go. Control Shift K will cut all these layers at once. But if you select them and press Control K, then it'll cut just the ones that you select. But the reason I couldn't remember that is because I have it set up to my mouse. I have a mouse with all these buttons on it, so I have mine mapped to the mouse. So I would just push a button and it cuts it all. But I just want to cut these. So delete this. Bring the intro back. And he said no guest. So that's even better. Just bring this up. Then I like to align the crossfade right there. So whenever it goes, it just fades nicer. You don't see any black.
Keaton.
Oh, got to take this back. I don't know what I got cut off. It's weird. Yeah.
Keaton. If you say his name 3 times, what's going to happen?
Just and I like to keep the background right here just ready in case he does have a guest. And he's saying that the next 4 videos will have guests. So I just like to keep that ready.
If you say his name 3 times, what's going to happen? He's going to appear. And Beetlejuice is now in our midst because we've put ourselves in this situation where we're constantly saying, are we in a recession? Are we headed to a recession? Are we going into a recession? And then boom, all of a sudden it's in your face. Not saying we're in there right now, but the lights are flashing red. Basically, what has happened now is that over the past several weeks, we've been getting economic numbers, CPI, PPI, jobs numbers that have been slowly solid.
Now we're going to go to the end real quick. Let's see. Just bring these up here. Then if you press the little tilde, it's right below the escape key on my computer, but it looks like the little mustache type thing. It'll make the screen real big. And this is actually how I work a lot of the time. I'm going based off of the audio and moving things, and to me, it's just the easiest way to work. So, I mean, it gives you all these layers and stuff. Let's see, put this there. On this one, I like to keep this one at the very end because I don't know, I don't like the text fading onto the screen. I like it to just be black and then fade up. Let's bring these back down.
Guys, a little bit of insight on how markets work. Thank you guys for joining us. Like I always say, subscribe to the channel. Like I always say, go and get my.
Let me check out the comments real quick. Of course, those will be the comments.
Thank you guys for joining us. Like I always say, subscribe.
But to address the comments real quick, when are we gonna do a workout video together? Probably, I mean, there's no telling if ever. I don't really do fitness videos like that anymore. I don't. I mean, I still work out. I just don't really care to be on camera lifting and all that kind of stuff anymore. See,
Like I always say, subscribe to the channel. Like I always say, go and get my book. MLB the CFP live on Apple and Amazon. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can email us at info@ninecapitalgroup.com. Send us your questions. You go to the website at www.ninecapitalgroup.com. Schedule your appointment. As you know, we're here to do what? Educate. Educate, empower, and engage. And today we talked about recessions, we talked about markets, we talked about
I wasn't paying attention. This is one of the
educate,
times that
empower,
that went by too quick.
educate.
Yeah, the last time we did this, he spoke really fast. So if you have a group together, like how I do here, and you move it, like every every piece of it will move. But if you hold Alt, you can click one specific one and move that piece. Don't. Oh, here we go. Make sure that's the right one. It's not working. Okay, whatever. Let me just.
Educate, empower. Empower and educate, empower.
It's weird. Shouldn't be doing that. Okay, I'm just gonna do this here and shrink it from the back.
Educate, empower, and
Yeah, I'm having a lot of trouble on this piece, which normally I don't.
educate, empower, and engage. And today we talked about recessions, we talked about markets, we talked about what you need to be looking for in this grand, beautiful tapestry of life. Stay humble, stay safe, my friends. I'll see you again soon.
Just grab these. Pop right here.
I'll see you again soon.
There.
I'll see you again soon.
So this screen is actually black right here. I have a setting. Which one is it? Right here. Show transparency grid. It doesn't come like this standard. So this is how it would normally look, but I set mine up to show the transparency. Just sometimes I work with transparency and I need to see that, and I'd rather keep it on at all times. Okay. And then if I had more time, I would watch the entire thing, but I'm going to end up watching this later. But this is like the main stuff that I do too. I do the beginning, I do the end. Usually he'll Kevin's very good at talking. He's very, very good at talking. Like he rarely messes up. If he does mess up, he'll let me know that, hey, I messed up right here. Can you fix this part?
So, with that
But
being said,
it's very
if the
rare he
yield curve
messes up.
remains inverted, that means that people are expecting a slowing economy. Now, like I said before,
So I'm just right now I'm looking, you can see that there's a break right here that I wanted to see if that break was too long.
a
So
slowing economy. Now, like I said,
it didn't look too long. I mean, it didn't feel too long. So I'm just going to the next one.
To sum this up, our insight.
Just kind of looked like he was thinking on that one. And see, okay, I'll get to this comment here in a second. Let me get this going, and then keep it real. I'll get to you in 1 minute. Just give me 1 minute. I want to start getting this rendering. Um, got that. Okay. So one thing I also do, I have an adjustment layer with all the coloring added to it. He is next to a window. Let me make this big. He's next to a window. Well, you can't see my finger, but if you look at my mouse, where the jersey is, the window is going toward him like that. And you can tell that he has a ring light as well, but he's fighting with two different lighting sources. He probably has his ring light probably 6500K, possibly 5500K, but daylight will always change. Like, if there's shadows, if it's really bright, not as bright, daylight will always change. And they always say to shoot next to a window, but I personally don't like that because you can't control it. In this case, his original video, let me disable this. His original video is kind of red looking, and that's just probably the sun coming in, and it's very bright that day, and maybe his camera isn't color balanced correctly. So I'll go and I'll if you notice the colors, I make it just a little bit more blue, bring down the reds just slightly, and darken the blacks. But what I was trying to say about the sun is that it doesn't stay consistent. It'll, if a cloud passes by, then your color temperature will go from like 5500 to anything else. It could drop down to more blue. It could get brighter, turn more red. And that's why I don't really suggest shooting in a with the window next to you. Like block it out, use just your studio light so you can have a controlled environment. But if you insist on shooting with the window, just know that the final edit, the color balance can shift everywhere, especially if you have your camera set to auto white balance, which I do not suggest because then it'll really be shifting everywhere. There was one video he did and it was just shifting from the beginning, the middle, the end, in between here and there. Like it was bad. But um, if you're nitpicky about your colors, which I am, that is something to keep in mind whenever you're filming with your clients or if they're filming their own content and sending it to you to edit. You know, I always try and give people tips on like how to film their content better, especially if I'm going to be working with them. Like, setting up certain lights, using certain cameras, doing certain angles, just stuff to make it better because the better that their content comes out for me to edit, the easier it makes my job. And in the end, the better your video looks overall. But yeah, so that's the color grading I did to it, or color correction. There's actually a difference between color grading and color correction. I'll get into that in a minute because I am running out of time. Let me save this real quick one last time. And then what I was saying earlier is that my hard drives have all my footage. I have five external hard drives. They're like 16 terabyte each, and I have them all connected into one USB on my computer because that's all it came with was just one USB port. But yeah, that's why it runs slow sometimes. And then I even have it set to 1/4. And yeah, but anyway, what I like to do first once I finish his videos because he does have a podcast. He has it on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, and Apple, I believe. So what I like to do first is render it out. I'm pressing Control M to open up the render page. This is episode 91, and it's already set to the right place. I like to do the MP3 first, and then I will explain that in a minute. Export, which should only take like 30 seconds, probably. Let this be done. All right. So now that The MP3 is done. I'll come back, rename this to 91, and then I will export as H.2, where'd it go? H.264. Everything's typically good on this one. And then hit export. The reason I do the MP3 first is because it goes very fast. I can get that done, taken care of, and the final export is about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It just depends on the length of the video. And you need to do this off screen for a second. Come over here. Then I'm going to email him the file. That way I don't forget to do that. Just open up this one. Reply to this. And then here, Kevin, finals. 91 MP3. 91 MP3. Send it. I should have did this first, but now I open up Illustrator. While this is rendering, I should have hit Illustrator first. That way it can open up and get ready. But he also sent me a list of titles that we want to use, so now I'm going to read through them. Are we really heading for a recession? The greatest economic indicators. I just realized something. I got to stop this. I thought he had a guest, so I left it empty. So let's come to the title right here.
Down the pipe.
And I need to update the title. Over here. And then I'm just going to grab half of this and grab this, click that here. I forgot about you, man. I just need to get this done really quick. And the recession. Let's make this big again. Recession. Okay. But I don't like the way that the and symbol looks on the bottom. It looked good whenever I had the other words, but I feel like this. Recession. Yes. Okay. So now save this. All right, let me answer your question real quick. Um, keep it real. This video editing thing feels very time consuming. How much do YouTubers usually pay to have their videos edited? Let's say they have 10 hours of raw footage and want to cut it down to 30 minutes. Dang, that's a lot of footage. Okay, so to answer your question, it really depends. What is the footage of? Is it travel content? Is it vlogs? Are they interviews? Like it really depends on what type of footage you have, and then the final that you want it to look like. I like to ask people to send me examples of what they have, or not what they have, but what they want done to it. Uh, and I'll get back to this. Give me 1 minute. Let me get this exporting. But I like to ask them what's the final look that they want of it? Do they want a lot of graphics? Do they need any animation? Do they need crazy transitions? Like, so if a hand's going across the screen and then it transitions or whatever, do they want stuff like that? Do they just want these graphics? So it really comes down to like what they want the final video to look like. Um, that's why it's hard to gauge how much like I would charge someone because I need to sit down and figure out what does it need. I can tell you that I can give you a basic number of what it would cost, but it's just going to be a range from A to Z on there. Like if you want a video that needs to be turned over in 24 hours and have all these crazy things into it, then I'm gonna that's a premium price. That's a rush order right there. So let's see, 10 hours of raw footage. It just it really depends on the content on that, but I mean, if that's something you want to talk about, just let me know and then we'll figure something out. See, and Simply Deep 1985. What's going on, man? He says, Sup, SwoleNerd in the chat. What's going on? So how's your day going, sir? Very busy. It's been a very busy day. Like I am so behind. I went to the gym this morning. I'm editing this content. I need to pack up and get everything going. But let's come over here real quick. Oh, these are my themes I was designing. I guess it didn't save correctly. From MJ. What's going on, man? Let's see. Okay, it's loading. It's a very large file, so it's just taking a minute to load up. Okay, I just got paid, so that's good. So let me save this. I'll just save that. Go back home. All right, any minute now. Yeah, I'm telling you, I have a lot of programs open. I have Premiere open. I have Streamlabs open. I have um, Illustrator open. I have like 4 websites, and it's rendering. So it's just taking a minute. A second. Okay. So that's okay. So from Simply Deep again, what's your content about? So I'll know what to ask you or bring up in the future. It's going to be about video production. So anything video production related, um, tutorials or teaching you how to edit, teaching you how to film, mainly filming, showing y'all some behind the scenes stuff. I'm still working on the content right now. Like I'm so behind on a lot of different things. It's funny because I filmed a podcast yesterday with Dave Lasowski. Anyway, I always struggle saying his name, but we filmed a podcast yesterday, which I need to edit, and we talk about this exact thing. The the way I like the way he put it. There's a hierarchy of how we work as video people. we put our clients before we put our clients first because we edit their content and we need to get paid. That's how we get paid. That's how we make money. We edit their content and put it out there. So we put them as number one. Then the second thing that we put up in that hierarchy is finding clients. Because if we don't have clients, then we're not getting paid. And then the third one is our content or yeah, so like finding clients would be kind of marketing and all that, and then the third one would be like creating our own content and then putting it out there. So it really needs to be where we put ourselves first so we can kind of like get exposed, but it's hard to put yourself first when these are the people that are paying you so you can pay rent and all that. And without that, I mean, it's just yeah, it's hard to do. So what I'm trying to say is creating my own content is always last on the list, but I'm trying to move that to number one instead. I'm trying to put my content above doing everything else, and then hopefully something good will come out of that. So, to answer your question, I know it's kind of long right now, but it'll be about video production, the content, excuse me, video production, how to film, equipment that you would need, maybe a skit or two, podcast, me interviewing other people in the video production area or industry. Um, just anything video production related. So any kind of questions like that would be good. I know it's a long answer, and hopefully it helped you out some. Where I go on this? Okay, so now I'm going to take his titles. Let me read through these again. I need to ask him something. Um, is this spelled properly? If not, then I need a re-render. I should have asked them that first. I thought it looked weird. Yeah, he had two T's. Oh man. Okay, so let me go ahead and fix that. Mm, mm, You come over here, just copy and paste it. Actually, let me just call him really quick. I'll put him on speaker so y'all can hear too. Can you hear me? All right. Hey Kevin, Beetlejuice. Did you spell it correctly in the text? Yeah, so Bettle So what's up to the people? I'm doing a live right now. You put the phone over here. Okay, yeah, because I've seen it spelled different ways. So Beetle, Beetle, and then okay, so just regular juice then. Okay, Beetle juice. There's one with a G. Let me see. And it's even spelled different. Yeah, it's spelled even differently on Google. It says Betelgeuse. Okay, I'll do beetle juice just because I'm sure most people would recognize that. Yeah. All right then. Okay. Yeah, I like talking to Kevin because it's like we get it done. We just say what we need to say, and then that's it. Like move on to the next. So that needed to be redone. I'm just gonna reduce. I knew it looked weird, and I should have asked him. I normally do. Replace it. I normally do, but whatever. I mean, it doesn't take too long to re-render it. But now we're gonna change through the thumbnails, and let's go back to where is it at? This one. Okay, let's go back to the email. Um, we'll do this one. I'm gonna do an A/B test on it, but oh, so my picture's right here. It's kind of funny, but my picture's right there. Whenever I saved this file, I I guess I had a different picture there and it wasn't linked properly. So I couldn't remember like what picture it was that wasn't linked properly. So I was like, you know what, let me just replace it with my picture. So anytime I see my picture, I'll know that that's not the right one. But these are old thumbnails. Oh, you can see my picture right there too. These are old thumbnails. We don't use these ones anymore. These are the new ones. He hasn't had a guest in a while, so I haven't updated this yet, but I will update it. Just I'll get to it when I get to it. But we're gonna do an A/B test on this. Let's do this. We'll do beetle. Where am I at? Beetle juice. Beetle juice. Just highlight this. Beetle juice and and recession. Through here shapes are Connoy. I've always had trouble with that word for some reason. All right, so that's the basic look of it. Like it's going to be a big word and then all these small ones. So highlight, and then I'm going to shrink these down so it fits better. It's probably too small. A little bigger. So mainly it's going to be about video production, but if y'all want me to do like graphic design stuff, then I can kind of teach a little bit of that too. But I mean, I feel like it's good to know both. Choose and recession, cruise ships or economy. We'll go with that one. And then the next one is going to be, let's see. So it says, are we really heading for a recession question mark? I'm just going to make spoofing as recession question mark. We really heading, here we go, for one. Please, then you shoot these right there. And then my dots got messed up, so fix that. It's not higher. I'll go back lower. I don't like the empty space, so let's raise it back up. Give this some space. All right, check our comments real quick. Says, do you think we could do a video showing how we can? Oh yeah, yeah. I just saw that video the other day. How we can ingeniously wrap presents. It's been a long time, and I saw that comment pop up, and I was like, man, let me watch this video. Yeah, it was pretty cringy, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave it up, whatever. But yeah, I saw it. It's like, man, I was like super, like even more awkward on camera, and like really skinny at the time. So it was cool seeing that video again. So I appreciate whoever it was that commented on that video to bring it back to my attention. But let's export this now for 91A, 72 ping, exit, export, and then we'll export this one as 91B, export. And now I'm gonna go to YouTube. And let's see, dude. Nope, can't spell it all. That's always been one of my biggest downfalls is I've always sucked at spelling, especially the word strength. Like it's crazy. Like I know how to spell it. I know everything about it, like how to spell it. But whenever I actually go to spell it, I always misspell it. And that mistake has cost me a big order once. I did I did a design project for this guy out there in Washington. It was he owns a gym out there. So I was designing his clothing for him. I still am, but like I was designing his clothing for him and I misspelled strength. I was like, oh, dang. So we ended up coming to an agreement on that. Like, you know what? I'll just take the hit on this one. Like, I'll do some more work for you, but yeah, for free. So that was something like that. But that's why also I always have everyone double check the work that I send them to. So I tell them like, hey, look, this is what I have. I need you to double check all spellings, make sure everything is right, because what people don't realize is that you're too close to it, meaning that when you're editing something, you can be editing the words all day, you can see the words all day, and they just kind of like start blending in together. And this word may be misspelled, but you don't realize it's misspelled because you just spent 20 hours working on this one thing and it looks right at that point. So that's why I have people sign like contracts and stuff where it's like, hey, double check this, make sure everything's right because I did my look, but maybe I missed it. Now you double check it, and if it's still not right, well, that's no longer on me because you were my second eyes on that. But where are we going? Ping. Right now, I'm adding the thumbnails. But yeah, so that's a good habit to have is if you're doing any kind of work for people, I can bring it over on this one now. I can bring it over here. If you're doing any work for people, just kind of make sure that they know too, like to double check everything like that because you may miss it. All right, so what I do for Kevin, I just leave it as here. I have like a basic description. I'll let him fill that all out. Um, it depend. Okay, let me back up a little bit. So for Kevin, he hires me to upload the video and edit the content, right? He doesn't hire me to fill out all this other stuff for him, but I will from time to time. Like we have some tags down here, so like I'll update stuff from time to time. But this is a service that I do offer to people. So if you want to grow your YouTube channel and you need help growing it, then that's what people would pay a service for me to do that for them. But like in this case, he just wants me to edit the content. He'll handle everything else. So I'll leave that blank. I'll leave this right there. And now we started doing A/B test. If you Once you upload a thumbnail, I don't know if every channel can do this, but I know his channel can do it, and I think he has about 200 subscribers, somewhere around there. So if you if you right click the little dots right here in the corner, there should be create a new test. You can upload 2 to 3 thumbnails to do the AB or ABC test. I actually did that recently on my video to see like which thumbnail would be best, and I think the third one was the one that got the most clicks on it. So it'll automatically set that thumbnail as your main one. I don't know how familiar you are with A/B test, but it will take thumbnail one, send it to a certain amount of people, see if they click it. It'll take thumbnail two, send it to a different amount of people. Thumbnail three, send that to a different amount. And whoever gets the most clicks, that's the thumbnail that it decides to go with. And then I'll put his in a playlist. He might end up changing that, but I'll put it in a playlist. It's not made for kids. No promo. It's not AI. Just have that right there. Blah, 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 and all that's done. So now I use something called, well, it's called vidIQ, but I use this right here. It kind of gives you a general score of like how good your stuff is. I have no title, so that's not there. It's clear what your video is about. There's no description on that. Your title is easy. I mean, there's nothing to do with titles or descriptions on this, but your title isn't too long, so I got to check. It's only one word. But keywords in the first 200, there typically is, I guess. Has video chapters. It will have video chapters once the video is uploaded. Has a thumbnail added to a playlist. Has at least one end screen. So it's got a 32 out of 100, but I mean, all the beginning, like that's going to change. So after all that is done, I'll hit next, and then I will just add an end screen. We'll just we'll pick this one. And I'll make this at the very end, right here. Actually, let's bring it about right here. Stretch that out. There, and then save that. Hit next. Blah, 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 blah. Next. We'll leave it as unlisted. He likes to set his own stuff on when it comes out. Close this. And it should have a copyright. Um, to get rid of copyrights, you click copyright, select action, and it all depends. You can either erase the song, which is something new, they've been doing it for a while now, but that's something new that you couldn't do in the past. You had to, back in 2012, you had to re-upload the entire video and take out the song. Like you had to wait to see if you were going to get a copyright strike. But now it's way easier to do. So you can just erase the song, you can replace the song from YouTube's audio library, or you can trim out that segment, or lastly, you can dispute it. In this case, I have a license to the song, so I'm going to dispute it. Blah, blah, blah. We're going to continue. I have a license. Continue. I have permission. Continue. And then I'm going to do this off screen, but I'm going to paste the license here. Click all these and then write his name and then hit submit. But we do this one off screen here. Open this up. Exit. And submit it. I'll bring it back. So after it's disputed, it will say disputes will be sent to the claimant for review, blah, 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 right? Close that, exit. And it typically takes about 30 seconds to 5 minutes. I think the longest I've ever had to wait was 10 minutes, but typically about 5 minutes, so not long at all. But now is when I would normally text him like, hey, video's uploaded, it's disputed, and then like that would be done. But yeah, I guess I am done with that now. So I'm done with all this. But yeah, go ahead and check him out. It's called the Nine Innings Podcast. We'll go to his channel real quick, just so I can see it. So it's called the Nine Innings Podcast, and it's about podcast, but it's about finance. He's had a lot of big name people on here. He's been on TV. He's done some crazy things. Let's see. There's, I believe this lady, she's an author, and he is an author. Like they sold a lot of books. Yeah, dang, I can't remember who it was, but he had like some really big names on here. But yeah, if you're into finance, he's a financial advisor, former MLB player. If you're into finance, if you're into baseball, go ahead and check him out. Um, Subscribe, tell him that y'all came from Vince G. But yeah, so let's go ahead and close this. We'll save this. Let's get back to this. It says MJ says you should check out Brian Adam Castillo's channel. He does fitness and video production. Okay, I'll check him out. Actually, I might be following him. That name sounds familiar. I might be following him on Instagram, but I'll check him out on YouTube too. It says, how often are you training now? I train about, on a good week, about 3 times a week. Um, I do try to aim for at least 5 days, but the bare minimum is going to be 3 times a week. It just depends on how busy I am. Like sometimes I get last minute clients and it's like, hey, can you come film this? And it's like, well, I need to go make some money. So yeah, I'll go ahead and go film that. And depending on the length of the event, I may or may not have time to work out. And depending on when it is too. Like tomorrow is going to be a very, very quick day. I need to wake up early. I need to fi- um, wake up early, go work out, and then in the afternoon, I'm going to go film a podcast. So that I'll bring you along for a live on that. I'm not sure yet. Maybe some behind the scenes. I don't know. I'll figure something out. But yeah, so tomorrow's gonna be a very busy day, and Thursday is when I should have more free time, and I'm gonna edit the first podcast. I'm gonna try and edit the second podcast so I can get those out for y'all next week, maybe on a Monday. But my goal for everything is no. Let's go to a big screen. Go to a big screen. Um, what was I saying? So my goal would be used to be to have all the stuff ready and put it out there at a specific time. Like let's just say I had 10 videos ready and then start releasing those and blah blah blah. Like have everything perfect, and that means designing everything good and making sure everything works correctly before I do anything else. And I've just noticed that is something I do for my clients, but when it comes to myself, again, I put them ahead of me. So I never end up doing anything with it. Like I have maybe 8 projects that I've been working on. My wife, we started a YouTube channel. We started filming it, but we haven't really released anything big with it. We released a few videos, but that was like 2 years ago. I just got busy doing other stuff. And, that kind of like that's a personal project right there. So got to put them ahead of everything else. And then I started doing a different podcast and I recorded 2 or 3 episodes on it, but I never released it. Um, so now I'm starting this one right here, and it's going to be more like as soon as I film it, I need to edit it and just get it out there. No having a backlog of footage, no having everything perfect. Just put it out there, fix it over time because I know myself. If I don't do it now, I'm not going to do it. And I'm trying to change that. I'm also trying to do them lives that way I can reduce the editing time. Y'all can get it. Y'all can just see it instantly versus me trying to make everything perfect and polish it up like super nice and everything. But the live will actually look like this. So it'll be we're gonna have the starting screen like this, and then it'll go into me, and then if we share any content, it'll go into this. And then keep in mind, like this isn't fixed up anymore, but it would be me, the guest, and then if we needed to share something, me, the guest, and share. I'm very proud of this. And then if I needed to take a quick break too, like we'll just be right back. But okay, okay. Kevin just said, uh, Beetlejuice is the name of the character. And I just uploaded it. All right. Let me see. Okay. Can I change just the thumbnail? Um, G U no GEUSE. Yeah. Go back to the edit screen. This one. So we need to make a quick change. He wants to use this spelling of Beetlejuice, and I will just replace A. Export. Come back to YouTube. Did I close it? Yeah, I closed it. Let me go back to it. Forgot what I was talking about. But yeah, I'm just trying to put out content right away instead of waiting to make it. Okay, do this. And I need to continue this one. Create test. Just I mean, I guess I could go back to that. Y'all aren't seeing what I'm doing anyway, so. All right. We'll just save this. Okay, done. Need to. Okay, so we're going to do a quick run of the comments. Um, how often do you train? Okay, I guess that's it then. All right, but I do need to end this. It's already 3:21. I am falling behind now, but I'm going to go ahead and end this. I appreciate y'all following along, watching. Hope I answered all y'all's questions. I know it's probably not perfect, but close this real quick. Close that. What's this? All right. Yeah. Um, if you're into video production, I hope you learned something. If not, be putting out more content soon. Anyway, appreciate y'all following along for the live, and I will see y'all on the next one. He said no Beetlejuice. What? B. Hold up. B-E-T. Dang, I spelled it again. Yep, I told y'all I can't spell. Anyway.